Hi, Paulie here. Frenetic fun space games. Okay, so I grew up with Traveller and very serious science fiction games and so on, and I've had some good fun with them. There's some interesting science fiction stuff coming out at the moment. This is one from about 2003, and it's gorgeous. Spaceship Zero. Fantastic little game. It's from Green Ronin Publishing. Now, and not to give too much away here, Spaceship Zero claims to be the game that is based on an old science fiction property, like a TV adventure series pilot from Germany, which was based in turn on a radio play, and so it's kind of the Tom Corbett Space Cadet level 1950s serial packet super fun thing that's come from a 1930s thing. I love it. It's a lie. There was no Spaceship Zero, but they absolutely do a staggering job of making it seem like there is one. There's fake interviews with cast. There's photos from a failed attempt to relaunch this as a movie. These guys went on, they had an album come out which was supposed to be music from the movie which failed. They've had fake interviews with old cast and so on. They've really supported this, and many reviews have actually taken this hook, line and sinker, and they've actually reported that this is an actual show that really existed. I'm sorry to tell you it didn't, but this is a great game. So this is kind of Lost in Space, Tom Corbett Space Cadet, Buck Rogers original, not TV thing. So what you've got is this lovely little heroic system. So mechanically simple system. It's a D100 system, but you're trying to roll as high as you can and not fail. So if you've got a 60% skill, you're trying to roll from 0 to 60 to succeed, but you're trying to get as close to 60 as possible. That's your level of success. But you've also got 0 dice. Now, you highlight some of your skills, and these are your 0 skills. When you successfully use these skills, and particularly when you get like a critical hit with these skills, these are the things that really define your character. So you get these 0 points, and these 0 points you can then trash in for cool effects. Everyone's got like a set score of these at the start. You gain more during play, and you can use these. You can use these to turn a hit into a critical hit, or to turn a critical hit into an absolutely spectacular thing, or you can use it to replace. You can roll this as an extra dice, and you can massage those dice so that you decide which two are going to be the 10s and which are going to be the units of the percentile roll. So if you roll a 6, 5 or 1, it could be a 56 or a 65 or a 15, you choose it round. So really nice little bit of system there, and of course it channels you into the skills that you've decided to highlight. So it puts those into the spotlight for your character. I want to be a fab, two-fisted fighter. I want to be the space pilot. I want to be the scientist that figures things out. This has this fantastic series of character things that you can choose. So you can choose to be the trusty space mechanic. You can choose to be the hot jock pilot. You can choose to be the beautiful assistant. You can choose to be the scientist. You can also choose to be an intelligent animal or pet on board. You can choose to be the robot. So you can play like the Lost in Space robot or Robbie robot, but you could also give these personalities. It's the robot, but it's very cowardly. Or we have this so we don't risk humans going out into radiation areas or whatever, but this thing might just be telling you it's going out there and whatever. This is a great thing. Anytime when you can be the ship's dog, cat, or intelligent monkey or goldfish is fine. Now, it has the most horrible premise of any science fiction scenario I've ever seen. So the idea is kind of 1950s sort of space patrol. So you've got long rocket ships with fins and all this sort of stuff, and they're making a faster than light drive. So they come up with the 0 drive, and what you're going to do is you're going to turn this thing on, and it will generate a gravity source which kind of pulls you faster than light. And there's this shield that will protect them from the effects. Unfortunately, they turn this thing on, and it increases their mass to infinite. It just compacts the rest of the universe into a singularity and destroys it, initiating a new Big Bang. Whoops. So these guys, they have not a nice, wholesome wholesome freezer unit that they can go into suspended animation. They've got these things that reduce people down to their essential salts. H.P. Lovecraft style. You become a small cube, which can then be crushed. Alright, so these guys decide that they're going to cube themselves, and they're just going to hang around for a few billion years until a viable universe develops around them. Then they're going to automatically awaken themselves and go and explore it. And that's the horrible premise that they're in. You can ignore that, but they're saying that's what this show did. However, the guts of this show, without that horrible premise, this can obviously be used for whatever kind of 50s two-fisted space adventure thing that you want to play. It's designed for a Lost in Space style play. You have a crew and a ship that you turn on this drive and it just teleports you somewhere. It malfunctions or whatever, now you've got to find your way home. However you want to spin that. But what they've then done is they've set up a sample world that you are cast into. So this is an alternative Earth that you've gone to, and these horrible, essentially deep ones. It's like a Cthulhu-esque universe. So there are horrible deep ones who are spacefaring horrible things, and they're collecting humans and they're using them as slave races. And they've got these big bat-winged things that kind of, when humans try to escape, these things leap out and engulf them. And they've got horrible robots. So the idea is it's leading you into this whole fight against alien menace and bash these things on the head and save that beautiful princess and release those slaves and be the mighty voices, the resistance. And enormously good fun. Laser pistol in one hand and, you know, brass knuckles in the other, and the eager kid at your side. Now, they've got some really cool bits of play, because the idea is they're trying to make this seem like an old radio play. So what you can go into is zero time, where instead of doing the usual role-playing thing and describing, okay, my character does this, my character does that, everything is now first person. So instead of the umpire sort of saying, okay, you come into a giant cavern, it's about 200 yards on each side, you can see there's a big door of some kind over the other side, and there is a giant flying saucer hovering in the middle of it. It's better if it's done as the narrator's voice. You know, our intrepid crew enter a mighty cavern. Their only means of escape, doors on the far side. But lo, what is in the middle? A giant flying saucer pulsating with evil power hovers. And now we continue our action. Or you can have an NPC. So, gosh, Captain, looks like we found their hangar deck. Oh, Jinky Willikers, is that a flying saucer in the way? Different ways of doing it, and they're trying to encourage you to say, not I attempt to jimmy open the door. It's like, no, roll the dice, but describe it as you're doing it. So it's like, if I can just open this door. And so you go crazy if you try and do this all the time, but they try and encourage you to do this for at least a few chunks of the action during the thing to keep this hokey radio play sort of thing going. Look, I don't know why this isn't way more popular than it is. As a system, it's a very clear system. It's a very easy one. The zero dice thing is great. That thing of highlighting skills to bring them more into the spotlight, they're the ones you're going to want to use as much as you can, because you get the super special dice. That's a nice mechanic right there. Percentile thing is easy. It's anyone that's done basic role-playing, RuneQuest, all these sorts of things, you'll know this off by heart. The Lost in Spacey kind of setting is a great one for running adventures. It's so easy to cook up cool stuff, particularly if they give them a drive. Now, in the original one, of course, these guys can punch out. Anytime they think this universe sucks, they can just go in and turn the drive on again and destroy the whole universe. I find this a little bit dark. I would definitely run this as a different thing. However, setting this thing up as the fan homage to a show that never existed is genius, particularly the level of layers that they did to make this thing seem like it's real. That's fantastic right there. So this is a game where people will get infected with space madness and go crazy. This is where some kind of horrible virus thing will start trying to, dissolve the ship, where you'll be desperately looking for resources, and only the lovable ship's, dog or cat can save you, where mind control is doing something and taking someone over, or evil demons from another dimension, but maybe the robot's immune. It's full of wacky, two-fisted space adventure. There are adventures out for this. A few of those out there. You can find this thing online. Green Ronin have their own site. You can find it on drive-through. For space adventure that's not going to take itself too seriously but is going to lead you into some real two-fisted fun, I personally think this is an absolute delight. As I was preparing my copy for this, like, I just found all of these file cards that I had actually stored in here, which were essentially scene and adventure ideas. It was one of those things which, as I was reading it, there were so many ideas coming out of cool adventures you could do. I was just writing them out, and just putting them in there. So, great game. Spaceship Zero. Go out, find it, enjoy. It's a wonderful piece of work you won't regret. Ding!